Support for Countdown to Infinity is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawn Mower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code DELFINPOD, DELFINPOD, at manscaped.com. And boy, howdy, shaving your balls is hard to do. I will say that. Sophia?
I've heard the struggle coming from the shower and or bubble bath that you have taken, and now I hear it no more.
Yeah.
Now all I hear is serenity coming from the restroom with some following of some buzzing, and then other than that, it's like done.
If you want to hear what it sounds like shaving your balls, it goes like this. This is what Sophia hears.
Yep.
Ow! Ah!
Normally.
Oh, damn it.
Before Manscaped.
Can someone get a mirror in here?
Mm-hmm. Sophia, please get the first aid kit.
Please. I sliced one right off. Well, all of that is taken care of with your Lawn Mower 4.0. Mm-hmm. There's so many amazing features. There's a 4000K LED spotlight on it. It's equipped with the skin-safe technology advance with the 4th-generation trimmer that it's cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. There's sizes that are included between 1 and 4, and it charges wirelessly.
Wow.
There's more technology in this than in my phone.
You're spoiled.
I'm spoiled. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DELFINPOD at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the code DELFINPOD, DELFINPOD. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Way to go, Tic Tac!
That's how you punch.
Wakanda forever!
Now, you wouldn't have heard of me.
Let me put you on hold.
Dance off, bro! He's a friend from work!
I can do this all day.
Yeah, I know. I'll show you ferocity.
Higher, further, faster, baby.
We have a hot
We're gonna jump on that spaceship and get out of here.
I wanna cook. I'm always until I was a kid. We think of time as a one-way
My dream.
We have fought for the right to experience peace.
Motivated by women of the world.
What is grief if not love persevering?
Welcome to Countdown to Infinity, an Avengers podcast. We talk all things Marvel Cinematic Universe, the movies we've talked about for the last couple of years, the Loki series, the WandaVision series, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I guess now we're talking multiverses.
Oh my gosh. We are here.
We're here.
We're here, baby.
We've got to figure it all out now. We're in the middle of our looking at Loki episode by episode recap of the Disney Plus series Loki, which has been really tremendous, I think, right? I mean, mind blown after especially the finale that we're about to dive into. Mm-hmm. But my name's Emmanuel.
My name's Sofia.
And we're variants? What?
Oh,
Who am I? I don't know you who are you?
Hello?
I'm different now? Wow. This season finale it seems like such a
It seems like a beginning.
It does. It seems like a very important moment for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Something that, I mean, all signs kind of were pointing towards, but to see it...
Literally every sign.
Yeah, literally every sign. Even in, WandaVision and in just the announcements of the movies that are coming out.
Yeah.
But there's a movie called Multi-Verse of Madness coming out.
And so you're like, how do we get to a multiverse?
And they cast Doc Ock and Electro from different Spider-Man movies. You're like, that's kind of wild, huh?
Yeah.
But, I mean, here we are. We know what the stakes are. We know what's happening.
Yes.
And it's all because of the finale of the show. And it actually is fantastic that Loki is the centerpiece of this. All these versions of Loki are kind of the discovery to this new, I guess, uncharted chapter. But Sophia, what did you think about For All Time Always, the season finale? And it seems like the kickoff to the multiverse.
I thought that it was completely badass. I thought that it's definitely getting me more psyched for Phase 4 than anything else so far, which is obviously its job. And then also, I was really looking forward to seeing Kang, and I mean, we had so many different predictions just going into this episode because, like, you never know with Marvel. I mean, you really never know. You know, but you don't know.
Yeah.
You know? And so, I mean, like, we had been flying out so many different ideas and seeing what would happen, and so I'm just happy to see some of it being right, some of it not being right. But I'm not okay. But I'm okay with that. Sorry, not that I'm not okay with it, but I'm totally okay with it just because of how it played out. And I think it was everything that it needed to be in order to get ready for Phase 4 and to tie everything.
Oh my gosh!
Not tie everything together, but to open everything wide up, baby.
Yeah, and there's something really inevitable about what is happening to our main characters, and even at the end, even though things end up differently, it all seemed like it was part of the plan. And I'm not talking about Marvel's plan. I'm talking about Kang the Conqueror's plan.
Yeah.
I think that his introduction and what time seems to be is just wild.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah.
Looking back at like previous episodes too, it's like little hints were here and there, and we just didn't. I mean, not that we didn't notice it because we did, but it's just like, I can't believe that we're here. Like it's just mind blowing to me because this literally opens up. It's not even the entire world. It's like it's multiverses.
Many universes. Yeah. And we kind of get the sense that we know what the mission will be.
Yeah.
For at least the larger story arc.
This,
if possible, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
This literally makes Endgame seem so small.
I know
now.
already, right? Already you're
it's like, why did it even happen?
Yeah, Thanos is nothing now.
Yeah, Thanos.
No. But I mean, here we are, but let's dive into it. I mean, let's start from the very beginning. There was something really unique even about the opening of this episode. We hear a lot of the most famous audio bits from all of the MCU movies that we know and love.
The Marvel credits. Yeah.
And then we start to hear sound bites from well-known physicists and, I mean, aspirational leaders. And we are watching our Marvel world zoom out of a black hole and into a new black hole.
Yes.
It doesn't get any more on the nose as you saying, like, we're going into a different universe now.
It's like, here's a black hole. Let's jump over to this one.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I mean, it's wild. And again, like, this is how it started.
And I really didn't expect this from the 5 seconds into it. Whenever because if looking back at the previous ep, they had just figured out how to jump into this whole castle or to go beyond I forgot its name.
The end of time.
To find the end of time. And,
I think it's Alioth. Yeah.
Alioth, yes, thank you. And they didn't even know what to expect beyond that point. And so now for them to reach this far, I know obviously everything supposedly is planned because of Kang, and how he explains it, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But just for them to be able to reach this point, my heart was just bumping like crazy, and my jaw was already on the floor having exposed these multiverses.
Yeah,
just again in the opening scene,
and it's wild to think of
God.
All the Avengers, of everyone who we know and haven't met yet in the MCU. That Loki and his variant Sylvie, they're the reason for whatever's coming next.
Yes.
They uncover the Timekeepers, they figure out the TVA, they meet Kang the Conqueror, and
Sylvie
whatever happens is because of them, technically.
Sylvie specifically, because Loki really wasn't on board at the at the very beginning of the Loki series. It's all just been Sylvie. She knew that something fishy was going on.
Yeah. I mean, it really couldn't happen without the two of them, although Loki's motivation might have been Sylvie for but Sylvie's always been focused on
this,
freeing the timeline and free will and making sure that people get to make their own choices. But I mean, It's crazy because by the end of this episode, she might not have ever, and even in spoiler alert, jumping to the end here, killing Kang, she still might not have made that choice.
Yeah.
Freely, because
Yeah.
it seems like something that Kang wanted.
Yes, he was.
It's
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that here in a
danged if
second.
you do.
Danged if you don't.
Danged. Is that what you? How would you say?
Damned? It's damned.
Damned. Oh wow. This is for the kids out there. We're censoring it. Danged if you do. Danged if you don't.
I was so excited to see Jonathan. First of all,
Yeah, let's talk about Kang the Conqueror.
The reveal.
Played by Jonathan Majors. There were signs that he was going to be in this, but no official casting announcements or anything. And like 10 minutes in, you just meet him.
Yes.
Less than that, actually.
He's just sitting there. The elevators open up, and I believe that I screamed a little bit whenever.
Yeah.
When that first happened.
He's great.
Because, I mean, he was fantastic in oh my gosh, Lovecraft.
Yeah, Lovecraft
Country.
Country was fantastic.
And,
He's great in it.
I mean, God, so amazing. And I was so when we knew that he was casted for Multi-Verse, like obviously it's gonna be like hello. So when he pops up, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is it.
Yeah, and he plays a variant. So who is the one who remains the final Kang?
Yes.
In the Marvel comic books,
Yes.
the one that wins in the
Versus all the-
multiversal
Yeah.
war. His alter ego is Nathaniel Richards, lives in the 31st century. Figures out there are these different dimensions.
Yeah.
And they start traveling through the dimensions, helping each other out, fighting. And he says, so in this, the version that we see, He Who Remains, he is convinced that he is the kindest one.
Yes.
Who created the TVA to make sure that everything stays
In order.
Because without the TVA, there would be multiple variants
like he's witnessed.
like he's seen who are just incredibly malevolent and aren't as kind as him. But then you're like also thinking that he isn't that great either.
Yeah, because
Especially
I mean,
by the end of
for
this,
him to
yeah.
have survived everything means he had to kill everybody else. So it's like, okay.
I'm
There's a couple red flags.
I mean, Kang the Conqueror, what a great character to introduce.
Yes.
Especially when and this is kind of like outside of just like the art of stuff, but right when you get the rights to X-Men back, baby.
Yeah,
like,
right.
What a great time to have Kang the Conqueror who can introduce X-Men, Fantastic Four,
Yes.
all this stuff.
All that
But
jazz.
I mean, I'm just excited that we got to see him so early, and because
Me too.
the promise here is that we're going to see Jonathan Majors again and again and again and again as different versions,
As different versions
of Kang.
of himself, yeah, which is insane to think about because I mean, even at the end of this episode, we see a version, like not like actual, like physical version, but we see a statue of a version
Taking over the TVA
that
now,
has
yeah.
taken over,
No timekeepers, yeah.
And like even that in itself, you're like, holy shit, it's already happening.
Yeah.
Like it's not even 2 seconds since R.I.P. And then
Yeah.
here he is again.
And I think what's fantastic about the show is they kind of set the stakes well by showing the different variants of Loki and how that can exist.
Yes.
And I mean,
It's
for every
completely
Loki, there's a
possible.
So
So, and Kane also explains how this is possible to begin with. He says that there's at least 3 different universes per that he's experienced. I think, like when he first discovered them, each of them are just stacked on top of each other.
yeah.
Which is wild to think about. But
It's all happening.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This is also like very real. Real theory too.
Yeah.
Currently, people, are studying and trying to figure out time as a construct, which is kind of wild because that means like I do one thing right now. I'm a different person now.
Yeah.
I just keep reinventing myself. But we know that Kang is in Quantumania, the new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie.
Yes.
But I mean, we're going to see him many more times, I think, not just
he's
that
already
one
going
movie.
to be in
Yeah.
Doctor Strange too, Multi-Verse.
Yeah, well, not yet announced, but yeah, he has to be, right?
Yeah. It's gonna happen.
And it seems like he's gonna be playing different versions, which is exciting for an actor like Jonathan Majors because during this really insane, I guess, like monologue in a way, conversation when he's explaining everything to Loki and Sylvie, he definitely changes his mannerisms, becomes threatening,
oh my gosh.
is hysterical, is really sad, and then gets filled with wonder. Like he's playing all this out.
And he is
in a great way. Yeah.
He's so much fun to watch. Like Jonathan is doing a fantastic job. Like
I
his performance as Kane was just so much fun to see, like, it's almost like comedic, like his
Yeah.
little mannerisms and like the way he presents himself and how he's talking to them. And honestly, he doesn't waste any time in his speech either. Like,
and
he's just getting
really,
straight to the point.
and I think that's what's really insane is he's the bulk of the episode, and he's really describing Phase 4 in a way that everyone has to be able to understand and still enjoy, because it's kind of like, I'm gonna tell you a lot right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain what's going on. Here are your choices. Take this
and
one.
take whichever one you want.
Take whichever one you want, but honestly, take this one, because the whole time that he's talking to them, it's like he's planting little seeds of like, I know what's gonna happen here, you know? And
do you trust her? Did she trust you? Yeah.
like the way that he's wording it, the way his body language, like it's obviously pointing to one way or the other.
Yeah. What?
Especially because he's lived through it, like,
and seen it all.
And he's seen it all, like, and he totally knows that it's gonna play out the way that it plays out.
Yeah, it's kind of like me all the time. I'm always,
Right.
I'm playing it out in my mind. I know what people are gonna say. I just know people's behaviors.
Right. What am I gonna say right now? Yeah. And then
Yep.
I'm just gonna copy everything I say. Okay.
But what I'm going to ask you, what did you think? Because going into even the final act of this episode, I still
Why are you
was
asking
not,
me a question if you already know the answer?
This is for the pod. Not everyone has my power, so I've got to help them out a little bit. Even though I know what you're going to say already, I'm already bored. I'm tired of this conversation.
Okay.
But what I didn't know if Sylvie was going to kill him or if Loki and Sylvie were going to end up taking over and running the multiverse. What were your thoughts on just the way that this played out? Because Sylvie does, Loki tries to stop her, but she throws Loki back or into a separate place. And then she kills Kang, and Kang winks and says, I'll see you soon, which is very ominous and kind of makes it feel like Sylvie, again, did not get free will. She just did exactly what he wanted. But what did you think about the way that it ended outside of just like new multiverses, but the way that Loki and Sylvie handle Kang?
Well, I think that Sylvie is much more driven and motivated by her past. And I think that that's obvious whenever she tries to kill Kane first in the elevator. And then again, whenever they start talking. And then again, whenever they're still talking.
And she keeps trying to kill him. Yeah.
She just keeps trying to kill him. And then also, I was thinking back to what B15 or is it B15 or B14? The soldier.
It's 15.
15. Okay, thank you. It's like what she told Ravana, like, she's going to do it because she has to. It's not even a choice. Like, she needs to do it. You want to get to Kane because you want to, but she needs it. Like, she has to do it. And I kept playing that over while Kane was trying to explain everything and like convince her not even trying to convince her otherwise, because I feel like he knew he was going to die, or even though he's not actually dead. Oh my God, that's so crazy to say. Yeah. But, like I kept saying like, no, she's gonna do it because she has to. Like she literally has to do it. Yeah, because it's
she's
just
single-minded. It's her whole life's work.
Yeah, I mean, and I knew at some point either a Loki was going to die, or they were going to betray one another, and I didn't know who was going to do it. But I mean, I'm not surprised that it was Sylvie. And
it's kind of like Loki's on the other end, because he does this all the time to other people. But it's interesting that's on the other foot, and now, even knowing that releasing the multiverses will mean releasing multiple Kangs, she still does it.
Yeah, she does.
It's kind of like, I mean, I think that the idea that Kang will ultimately be the bad guy everywhere, is kind of super scary.
Especially because he's already given us an image of what that is going to come to. Yeah. Like what's going to come of that.
He wins at the end, is what we know.
Yeah.
We figure out at least.
And so, I mean, if that happened once, it can totally happen again. And it's having there being multiple Kanes, like, again, is just another crazy idea, and it's just going to come full circle again.
Well, one of the biggest clues that Kang was in the series was the introduction of Ravana Renslayer, and she, of course, is a friend and then love interest of Kang in the comic books. For a while, I thought that she was in on the whole thing, but multiple times throughout even this episode, she makes it seem like she didn't know that Kang was the person behind the TVA. She's just really committed to finding out who or what. But it seems like her, and then she leaves.
And I think that she's also just committed to the idea of all of this can't be for nothing, because then it would be embarrassing for her, like as a person, like to go through your memory swipe and then also like working so many years or decades or however many years it's been since she's been at the TVA.
Yeah.
And then being in charge of everything, and then also having behind you in the back of your mind, I guess, no answers to why this is even happening to begin with.
And it,
like, how can you answer to the employees or, you know, to people that are coming up to you that you've been working with, like Owen Wilson or Mobius, for years, being like, what are you doing? Like, what were we doing this for? Like, you were just spitting these lies that you have no answers to yourself.
And it feels like Kang's explanation is really compelling. I mean, the idea that if she meets him and he's like, we need to form the TVA so we can stop other Kangs, she could sign up for that real quick. You know?
100%.
Like, it's not like he's...
Especially because she has already this image of him in her head.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one that is the only one to have free will. Like, she's already idolizing him. So if they were to ever... I mean, they're going to. But whenever
get married and have babies.
Right, live happily ever after. But whenever they do get together and, like, he tries to persuade her, I feel like it's not going to be as hard as anything else.
And you know what? We see her backstory and who she was as a human.
Oh, yeah, we do.
She's a principal, and I'm not surprised because principals are so mean.
No.
They're so bad. No, they're not. And all principals are villains.
Stop.
I'm just kidding. I know we have a lot of principals listening. While they're sending kids to detention, they listen to our podcast.
Whatever.
You know, when I did you go to a school that had corporal punishment or no? I did.
I mean, well, okay, you tell me yours.
I went to a school where only the principal could spank you, but they could spank you. Like, it was, your parents would sign a paper that said you could get spanked by the principal.
I went to a school, I won't say the name, but it was a religious school.
Tell them, dox them.
No.
Cancel them.
They did, the principal did have a paddle. So whenever I did go to the principal's office, they did have a paddle, and it was very dim-lighted, and they had a...
What?
Yeah, like, it was super intimidating. They had, like, that black dentist carpet, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, like, black with, like, little sprinkles of, like...
Pictures of teeth.
No. It's, like, little... It's, like, almost, like, confetti-ish.
Kind of like speckled. Yeah,
you know what I mean? And on the floor, and I was like, oh my god. They had leather chairs, dark leather chairs.
Okay, this is a weird
you know what?
place.
It kind of looks like Kane's office, to be honest.
Wow.
Like, it looks like Kang's office a little bit.
Kang the Conqueror was your principal. Again, proving my theory, principals...
He's everywhere.
...are bad guys.
No.
All of them.
But King's office has, like, the little... pieces of gold and stuff in it.
Well, you brought up Mobius earlier.
Sorry, yeah.
And we kind of see somewhat of a resolution or a reset to his character as well. We don't get to see him on a jet ski on this episode, which they will definitely fix for season 2.
They better, because my gosh.
Oh, they're going to react so hard to that jet ski thing. But
Give him the jet ski.
He's able to free most of the TVA before he's back to 1.
Oh yeah, well, we do see him because he shows everybody Ravana whenever she was the principal, and that's like the breaking point for the rest of the TVA. Thank God, because man, I was like wondering how is he even going to do that? Like, he would have to go one by one and just show, but this is way easier.
Yeah.
And then even after he confronts her, she tells him like, no, this can't have been for nothing. And then she still decides to dip. But I'm like, girlfriend, like, why?
And Mobius and her have like a very special relationship. At least one that's a little.
Or so he thought.
Yeah, but it's one that's a little different than everyone else. It seems.
Yeah.
She's always giving him chances. They have drinks.
I just want him to be happy, man.
Yeah. I mean, what's exciting is we're jumping to the post credits, or I guess the mid credits. Is there's a season 2 of this, and we're hoping Owen Wilson is back for it. But because by the end of this, he doesn't know who Loki is.
No,
he doesn't. I mean, Kang is the leader of the TVA.
Yes.
So I mean,
in one universe, at least.
So there may be actually a universe where Mobius is, out and about.
Yeah.
On his jet ski, having a good time. But yeah, so by the end of this, it seems like we're headed towards a ton of interdimensional multiverse stuff. Do you think we're going to see the multiversal war at all? What Kang is talking about all of these different universes fighting each other.
I think maybe we'll see part of that with Doctor Strange.
Already? You think it's happening already?
I mean, no, just like the beginning part of it. I feel like
Yeah.
it's going to be an Endgame type sitch where it's going to be cut up into 2 different movies, or possibly 3 different movies. It could be whatever. But I mean, I don't know. Like, it's always up to the MCU, and it's like they can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
But I do feel bad for Loki because he does have to find his way out of this universe, like he did before, because he does end up being in the universe that nobody knows where he is, and it's also the TVA is ran by Kang.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting because if shit does hit the fan after this, and everything is happening at one time, because we also have to consider Wanda, who can also probably travel through, because she's learning all kinds of stuff from her books.
I mean, they specifically talk about her and a nexus and her being maybe that powerful that she can kind of... And of course, remember, she
in
hears her
Doctor
kids
she
at
does
the end of WandaVision.
She does hear another version of her children, so I'm assuming that
she's on the hunt.
Yeah, I'm assuming that happened just because of the multiverses that we have. And I think that's going to drive her at the same time as a war is going on with Kang.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, everything's going to have to be happening at one time.
Wanda would be pro multiverses.
Yeah, for her kids.
And I don't know, Doctor
For her
Strange's
family.
task with, I guess, kind of similar to TVA, keeping things in line. He also faces Dormammu, remember? And so he's dealt with time travel
Yeah, like
before.
he's like, ain't no thing.
The Ancient One has
It's-
too. So, I mean, I feel like he's very equipped for this kind of stuff.
Right.
We also know that in Spider-Man No Way Home, there's a lot of Nexus-type
That's
imagery
right.
already in all the promotional stuff. And, of course, again... all the actors from the other Super Spider-Man movies
Already signed up.
are in this.
Yeah.
But I think it's really exciting stuff. One of the other things that I think is a really cool thing to look forward to is in the Marvel stories, Kang he's one of the smartest people in the 31st century, so he can, travel and meet other versions of himself. But there's another person who is the smartest person, one of them in the Marvel comic books, and that's Reed Richards, who is Mr. Fantastic.
Right.
He also has a council of Reeds who go around, and they end up having to help save the dimensions in a kind of like Rick and Morty-esque way, but Council of Ricks.
Council of Ricks.
But we know Fantastic Four is coming from the director of Quantumania, who Kang the Conqueror is in, Jonathan Majors. So who knows? That may be the thing that fixes things back, is the introduction of the Fantastic Four. It's kind of wild to see.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to talk about this scene. I'm saying this thing because it's playing in the background, but when Kang kind of reaches that point of not understanding or not knowing what's going to happen next, supposedly, but I mean, I'm sure he has predictions. I love the imagery that they showed to show the breakage of the timeline and the thunder effect and everything. It looks so cool. And then by the end of it, I mean, my gosh, it looks like just electricity flashing through the entire sky. Like, it's insane how large it's going to break apart, and the fact that they're breaching each other. Does that make sense? Like, one universe can clash into the other, or one event can clash into the other. Like, it's going to get wild from here on out.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And I don't know if by the end of this we even get all the timeline together, because it doesn't make
There's
a ton
no
of
way.
sense to do that without like culling or what the TVA considers like pruning.
It's going to take so long
Yeah.
to try to get it back to what it was.
It may not be. It may end with a peace or with something like that instead of a conquering like Kang wants.
Do you think that Sylvie made the right choice?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a better chance of defeating Kang with multiple allies on your side than it is to leave the one.
But there's also
there.
multiple Kangs.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But there's also the one who remains. So he's there no matter what. So you either leave the one who remains still in charge, and then with a definitive end of time.
I'm saying, like, do you think they should have taken the job?
Oh, running everything?
Versus killing him. Yeah.
No, because if they killed him, it wouldn't matter. The multiverses would happen regardless. Because the second she stabbed him,
Yeah.
everything got wild. So they wouldn't be in charge anyways. Does that make sense?
Wh-
Like it wouldn't have
what?
it wouldn't have fixed
Oh,
anything.
like if they were in charge and then they still stabbed him, is
Yeah.
what you're saying. Oh, I see. I
They
understand.
would still branch off and stuff like. So I mean, of course, we also know that by the end of the next 50 movies, the timeline will be safe again.
Maybe.
We'll have to see what happens, but it's totally possible that happens.
Do you think Loki is going to be pissed at Sylvie?
Yeah, but I feel like that's going to be
you
the
think he's-
basis for season 2 is them finding each other again or something.
Is he going? Do you think he's going to be motivated by his heartache or motivated by his change of heart?
I don't know. I don't know if he truly loves Loki. Sylvie, sorry. I mean, he loves himself, but like as much as he would like anything else, because now, I mean, all these universes are screwed up. So that seems like a big mission, and he may be the one to recruit people to this mission, which is insane because you've got all these different teams forming elsewhere. But I mean, it seems like he and Sylvie have the inside track on this, especially if Mobius doesn't even know anymore. Like, because then who knows the story that we just saw other than Sylvie and Loki? You know what I'm saying? There's no one. Miss Minutes might, I guess. she could come out, but I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, absolutely no one else will know what's happening except for Sylvie and Loki.
Do you think Ravana is going to show up at Kang's
castle or something like that?
At the end of time.
What'll be really interesting is we know we're going to
'Cause
see Nathaniel Richards, who is Kang, the first Kang, the original Kang.
Oh.
He's going to be somewhere. And when that happens,
Yeah.
that's
gonna be cool to see.
Ravana's going to meet him earlier because she can't meet
In
the
the
one who was remains
1300s?
because he's dead. No, the 31st century.
The 31st century, sorry.
Yeah, I think that's
1300s.
what's gonna. I mean, she's gonna meet a variant of Kang, maybe
At
the
some point.
worst one, because again, the one who remains isn't the worst Kang. Kang the
Supposedly.
Conqueror, the worst Kang the Conqueror is the one who actually wants to conquer. Everything and everyone,
Yeah.
all for all time. Literally, the title of this episode is for all time, always is really about Kang more than it is even about love, because we don't get any love in this episode.
Oh,
We get heartbreak.
I thought it was the thingy for the TVA.
Yeah, it is, but it can also be like you can't escape Kang.
Oh, that's true, that's
he's
true.
there for all time.
It works both ways.
It works both ways. Just
does.
like this pod will keep going for all time.
Just like Kang will keep going. For all
Yeah,
time.
yeah, we'll be around until Kang dies. We'll be older
Until
than
the
Kang.
last one.
Yeah, we will be the one who remains now. I mean, what else is there to say about this episode? Anything else that you like? There's a lot of Easter eggs. There's things even in the opening credits, like spaceships that we've never seen before, worlds that will allude to other MCU shows. There's a lot of Easter. I feel like even the cracks in the castle will be a huge deal. There's a whole season of Doctor Who where the multiverse in the Doctor Who, the timeline is broken.
Oh my.
Where there's a crack in every single episode and the Doctor sees it everywhere. I don't know if they're going to do something like that, but but I don't know. What do you think? Like, what else is there that you notice or you're super excited for?
I think I'm excited to see what happens with Sylvie. I want to know if because I mean, we don't really see anything of her afterwards. It's more of Loki than Sylvie
She's
because
just alone
she's
in that
just still
office.
there in the castle or in Kang's office. But I mean, there is a bunch of literature in there. There's a bunch of stuff that he left behind. There's a bunch of things on his desk. There's just he also left his little pen pad, like his bracelet that's supposed to control everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot left for Sylvie. So if she feels like she's either really fucked up or that she's like, oh good, I did it, then I mean I don't know. It's just that's up in the air for me. I really don't know how she feels after completing what she felt that she had to do.
She might feel a little empty, because
I mean,
it's done.
Is it really? I really don't know if it was worth it just because of all the shit that could happen.
That is gonna happen.
But yeah, that's gonna happen. I do want to see what happens with Loki and this new version of Mobius and B-15 that we see because they literally have no idea who he is in this universe that he entered. And then also just want to see what Kang is running that TVA. I want to see if it's like a bad version of him. Based on the clothing that he's wearing, it looks like it's just going to be like like another version of Kang, like that's just trying to conquer shit. But I don't know. And oh God, Ravonna, I really don't know where she went because she also had a glimpse of a file that Kang sent to her specifically through Miss Minutes before she took off.
Yeah.
So I really don't know.
Could be a time to meet him.
Yeah,
you know?
it could be like a date.
Back in the past. A date. Mm-hmm. We know they end up together. So
They gotta end up together.
super possible. Yeah, and what's exciting too is our questions are going to be answered because there is the mid-credits scene is season 2 of Loki. So it seems like we're going to see more Sylvie, more Ravonna, more
Yeah.
Mobius, but also, you know, Tom Hiddleston did say over the weekend that he would do this forever. He loves Loki and the
Yeah.
show. So I think that, you know, as much as he wants to do, they're going to do. And we do need more TVA. I think, you know, especially in the universe the way it is. We're going to see more TVA, baby.
Yeah.
We're going to sign up for that TVA. Hardcore.
I'm already here, bro.
Yeah. Well, we already are going to have more. Look, let us know what you think about this episode, the finale of Loki, where it leads Phase 4 and
Predictions,
the MCU, anything that you any of the Easter eggs you might have seen. But we are not even going to wait that long. After like waiting over a year for a new Marvel thing, we
Yeah,
just talked
I'm
about
just
Black Widow
ready to
last
go.
week. Yeah. Well, in a couple of weeks, we will already get What If, the TV show from Marvel, from the Watchers, which is really exciting.
And these don't even have to be a what if anymore. I mean, it could totally be happening
Yeah.
in another universe.
And What If is going to be a series of like animated scenarios. You know, Marvel Zombies we've already seen. We know that there's like a iteration of Black Panther and Star-Lord like combined, voiced by Chadwick Boseman. So there's a lot of really exciting things in What If. And then the month after that in September, Shang-Chi and the Legend is coming out. So another movie.
Yep.
So we're going to be seeing quite a few Marvel things coming up next. And we'll be back next week, of course, to talk more Marvel stuff and maybe even your predictions and whatnot. But I can't imagine a bigger reveal than the multiverse of what's happening in the MCU. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be insane from here on out.
Yeah, we're talking about a whole bunch
We
of
thought
stuff.
we were getting all kinds of stuff with Endgame and shit, but nah.
I mean, yeah, after Endgame, you're like, okay, time to relax.
Yeah, nope.
And here we're going to have like...
It's like, oh, thank God the universe is safe.
I know. We're like, oh gosh, there's so many things that we have yet to see and experience and have no idea what's going to happen. And, you know, it looks like Marvel's been planning this for a long time since the Fox acquisition.
Yes.
Do you remember the ending of the last Spider-Man movie? It's insane. The Daily Planet and... you know, they knew this was going to happen, and we're just kind of getting. I'm just surprised at how quickly it's happening.
I know
because we've met Kang already.
Because there's so much that has to happen. It has to happen quick.
Yeah.
So and you know what? Making the time pass or explaining so much of this through their series in between the movies is so smart.
Yeah.
Because this means that everybody can be totally caught up. You don't have to sit down and get a movie ticket. You don't. I mean, you totally can, obviously, because like if they wanted to make a movie out of Loki, they totally could. But I mean, putting this into a series that is just so beautifully done and just it's like every episode is like a mini movie in itself, and it's just it's so genius.
It's all marching like through the personal lens of Loki, what it means to have all this here, and it's kind
and
of
through each character too. I'm not just specifically talking about Loki either. Like at the MCU, like because we had WandaVision and then Falcon Winter Soldier, like we get to see little bits of everybody, and I love it.
And you know, doing this and making this decision is cool because it also sort of canonizes all of the other Marvel stuff. I mean, all of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and when you know Andrew Garfield is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Instead of saying those don't count, here's our version. Marvel is really smart and kind of canonizing all of that and saying, no, that was all, you know, part of our world, but just a different universe.
Yeah.
And they're going to do the same thing with all of the X-Men movies, all of the Netflix Marvel shows like Daredevil.
Yep.
All of that is just, you know, a different universe, but it's all, you know, connected, which is brilliant.
It's just smart.
Because it even kind of memorializes those films in a really fun way. I mean, we already saw Howard the Duck from the 80s. So yeah, I guess, you know.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, I can't think of any other franchise that can
would
do
be
this.
able to do
that wouldn't.
this.
Yeah, Star
No.
Wars has something called Star Wars
Maybe,
Legends.
yeah.
which sometimes like they're just saying this is like a separate fan art thing, but it's not part of the same universe. And
No.
Marvel's like, hey, yeah,
Marvel's tying
we'll
it all
totally,
together.
yeah, that's all part of our thing, our shtick. It's all us, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, time for us to branch off too by the end of this. But Sophia, what do you have to plug?
Just the same old stuff. Thank you for listening to the pod and contributing to the pod and just the Dolphin Pod Media in general and all the shows that fall under this. There's all kinds of shows that you can check out, and if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, you sure can. You can become a patron at patreon.com/DelphinPod, DelphinPod, and you can also follow me on any social media if you want to. Everything's going to be at _simply Sophie, SOFIEE.
Yeah, definitely find us on Patreon. Listen to all of our other shows. Thanks so much for supporting us. Make sure to like, or you can't like the pod. I guess you can like it.
Yeah, you can.
But leave it a review. Share it if you want. We always want to meet new listeners and talk more Marvel stuff. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. Well, next week, since we don't have anything brand new, we'll be talking about some Marvel news.
Yes,
Because we honestly have missed so much just by talking about Loki and Black Widow.
Yeah.
Kind of back to back to back, really busy, and we'll play some fun games. But soon we'll be back with What If 2 and all kinds of stuff. But yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We will see you next week.
We'll see you soon.
Ooh, spooky. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.